Happy Tuesday. Thank you for joining me. I'm Gergen, and this is Positive Greatness. It's the weekly book recap. And today's book that we're going to go over is The GoGiver from Bob Burg and John David Mann. With this book, this is the second in the series, and I picked it because, first and foremost, it's a fantastic book. But I also love that it's a nice, quick read. I've read it a couple times and definitely want to share a few things about this book with you. And if you stick around to the end, I'm going to give you an opportunity to win a copy of this book for yourself. So just pay attention to that. And what we'll do is just give you a little background on the book here. I'm going to flip the book up over here so you can see it on the side. And again, this is The GoGiver. It's set up as a short story, like a parable, but the lessons in here are what we're going to end up talking about. It was it was written in 2007. It's been on numerous bestseller book lists, and as well as being on like top motivational books on many lists. It's just a really good little tome, and it's sold over 950,000 copies worldwide, translated into so many languages. So I think you're really going to enjoy this. So hang on with me, and we're going to go this way. All right. So we've all heard of a go-getter before, right? Go-giver is a shift or a switch on that term. And a go-getter is somebody who is just, they're after it. They're running, they're chasing. They are going to do whatever it takes, right? If you put a wall in front of them, what are they going to do? Are they going to go around the wall? Are they going to climb over the wall? Or are they just going to smash right through it? Depending on the level of go-gettingness, they'll smash right through that wall, right? Well, so often when we have a mentality like that go-getter attitude, we'll work harder. No problem with doing that, right? We'll work harder. We'll work faster. We will just push the limits. But what we find so often is that's not what it necessarily just takes to be successful. Sometimes the harder we work, the faster we go, the further away from our goals and our dreams that we find ourselves. So when we break everything down, the book is going to bring it down. So instead of a go-getter, it's going to break it down to the secret, which is giving. That's why it's the go-giver. It's coming from a place of contribution instead. So to do that, there are 5 laws of stratospheric success that come with this. And with that whole part of giving, there's a quote in here, and it's a really good one. Haven't heard it, or I've heard it like this because I've read the book a couple times, but I really like the way that it's stated. The majority of people operate with a mindset that says to the fireplace, first, give me some heat, then I'll throw on some logs. Or says to the bank, give me interest on my money, and then I'll make a deposit. And of course, it doesn't work that way, right? A lot of people are unfortunately in the mindset that they kind of want something just handed to them before they're willing to put in the effort or the work to make it occur. So, you don't want to get one of the areas that it kind of addresses in here is, you don't always get what you want, but you get what you expect. Or you get what you focus on. But sometimes we're in the running and we're just going forward. We don't necessarily have a focus other than forward. We don't have a destination other than, drive and put the pedal, down on the floor. But we don't have a direction, right? So ultimately, what it comes down to in this part is, ultimately the world treats you more or less the way you expect to be treated. So it's just a little foreshadowing that really what we need to work on is our mindset, our directions, our goals. So that brings us over to the 5 laws of stratospheric success in relation to the go-giver. So the very first of the laws is the law of value. Now, before talking exactly what it is, I know you see it on the screen, but the golden rule of business is all things being equal, people will do business with and refer business to those they know, like, and trust. True enough, right? People make decisions emotionally, then they use logic to justify it, to make it a reality, to affirm the decision. But all things being equal, people will do business with and refer business to people they know, like, and trust. So with that in mind, Your true worth, this is the law of value. Your true worth is determined by how much you give. Your true worth is determined by how much you give in value more than you take in payment. Your true worth is determined by how much more you give in value than you take in payment. So how this relates out is often people approach business or a venture with the wrong first question. And the first question they go is, hey, does it make money? It's absolutely a really good question. And it's a pertinent question, right? There's survivability, long-term health, et cetera, that are tied to that. But it's not necessarily the right first question. So if it's not the right first question, what is the right first question? The right first question is, does it serve? Does it add value to others? So we have to kind of look outward before we look inward. Look, does it serve a purpose? Is there a need? Can we improve things with what we do? And if it does, then we've got something that's tangible. Then we can worry about the other things. And remember, when we're saying that your true worth is determined by how much more you give in value than you take in payment, value is a really subjective term. It's very subjective to the individual. So an example is a tax consultant. You can go and get a very H&R Block, and you can get a cheap tax return done for you, or you can pay something more. So let's take the tax consultant. The tax consultant charges $1,000 for the services, right? That's not inexpensive. But that same tax consultant saves you $5,000, $10,000 off of what you would owe in taxes. Have they provided tremendous value? Absolutely, they have. Have they been worth every dollar you spent? I would think so, if they're able to provide something you couldn't do on your own. So the way this wraps around is exceed people's expectations and they will pay more. But you can't do that if you're not focused out on what is the value to somebody else, right? Very good. All right, so we've got the law of compensation next. It's the second law. The first law is determined. First law determines how valuable you are. What is your success potential, right? It doesn't say what you're going to do. The second law determines how much you actually do earn, the compensation. So your income is determined by how many people you serve and how well you serve them. Your compensation is directly proportional to how many lives you touch. And there are two things that are really amazing about this. The first is you get to determine your level of compensation. It's completely under your control. If you want more success, find a way to serve more people, right? Second is there are no limitations on what you can earn, because you can always find more people to serve. They use a quote from Martin Luther King Jr., Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Everybody can be great because anybody can serve. Everybody can be great because anybody can serve. Or said another way, everyone can be successful because anybody can give. We just need to find people to serve. And with real estate, this is truly a valuable, valuable lesson. We don't earn unless we find people that we can serve, that we can help them achieve their dream of buying, selling, investing, doing something with the services that we provide. If we don't help them achieve their goals, we earn nothing. As a matter of fact, we have lost income, we've lost time, we've lost a lot of intangible as well as tangible things. So it always helps me thinking about a Zig Ziglar quote. Fantastic guy. You can have anything you want in life if you help enough people get what they want. So relating this back down is being broke or being rich are really decisions, and you make them. That's your decision, whether you choose to serve people or not. The more people you choose to serve, you go and find to serve, the richer your life is going to be, both internally and externally. So, and then one other thing kind of wrapped up on this chapter was, sometimes you feel foolish, even look foolish, but do the thing anyway. So when you're serving people, sometimes you're not necessarily sure where it's going to go, and you're going to put yourself out. It's not about the feeling, the foolishness. It's about the act and the care that you take in the service that you give. Go out there. We say it oftentimes, you know, be bold, be a contribution. All right. And then there is a little side chapter that comes over here. And this is an interesting one. It was, so it's just off of the law of compensation for a moment. It is on all tasks, jobs provide the opportunity to either one of three things: survive, save, or serve. All right. Survive. What does that mean? It means surviving is just meeting your very basic needs, your basic living needs. Saving is going beyond your basic needs and expanding your life forward. And then serving is to make a contribution to the world around you. So often when we get engaged in doing something, doing work, doing a job, whatever it might be, we start on the wrong side. The most basic need, survive, is not where the people who are the most successful start. That's where that is almost a poverty mindset. That's we need to meet just our basic needs. When we save, that's a step forward. You know, the people who are maybe just a touch more advanced, they get into the saving because they're going beyond those basic needs to expand the life. But the people who have the greatest levels of success across the board, they start with the contribution. How am I going to serve other people? Because as you give, inevitably what happens? It comes back. All right. So, and that's going to lead us into the next law, which is the law of influence. Your influence is determined by how abundantly you place other people's interests first. And again, isn't that what service is about? So ultimately, what you're looking for under the law of influence is you're looking for a network of people. And we talked about this before. You're looking for a network of people who know you, like you, trust you. You want them to be your personal walking ambassadors out there. And you know what, to talk about it, have you guys heard of win-win or quid pro quo or 50-50, right? It's a 50-50 proposition. That sounds fair, doesn't it? But is that really how you develop influence? Not necessarily. The key of this part is stop keeping score. So the quote from the book is, watch out for the other guy. Watch out for his interests. Watch his back. Forget about 50-50. 50-50 is a losing proposition. The only winning proposition is 100%. Make your win about the other person. Go after what he wants, what she wants. Forget win-win. Focus on the other person's win. And in the process of doing so, what's going to happen? Man, that is influence. So here, if someone asks you what creates influence, the most common answers are money, position, maybe a history of outstanding accomplishments. But the problem with that is that's not what creates influence. That's actually what influence itself creates. It creates money. It creates position. It creates the accomplishments, right? So what actually creates influence? What creates influence is doing just this. It's putting other people's interests first. Givers attract. Giving magnetizes you. It draws people to you. So think on that. It's fantastic. All right. And then the fourth one is the law of authenticity. So a genuinely sound business principle will apply in life. A genuine, oops, I just went all the way back here. Sorry about that. A genuinely sound business principle will apply anywhere in life, in your friendships, in your marriage, or any aspect inside of your life. What you want to do is not improve necessarily your business balance sheet, but what you're looking to do with this is increase your life's balance sheet. So if you've got a sound business principle, it won't just improve your business's balance sheet. It'll improve your life's balance sheet if you choose to apply it beyond just the business. So the most valuable gift you have, and this is the part of law of authenticity, the most valuable gift you have to offer is yourself. In the book, it's highlighted on a real estate agent of all who, when they got in, they learned every closing technique in the book from A to Z, went out on appointments, everything else, and nothing happened almost a year went by, and just nothing was occurring until there was a real conversation. In other words, have you ever been around anybody who has pretended to be, the fake it till you make it? They are pretending to be something that they're not. How transparent is that to you? Sometimes, when they're trying to do that whole fake it till you make it, you can see right through it, and they look so pathetic sometimes that you actually might work with them. Their best case scenario is you might work with them because they look so pathetic, and you're almost giving charity to them to work with them, right? But you don't feel connected. You don't feel the relationship when you know somebody's not being authentic, right? So the key here is, like the genie in Aladdin said, be yourself. If you remember that scene, right? Aladdin was having he was pretending to be somebody else, and it's what's inside that really truly counts. So if you want people skills, be a person. People will be drawn to the authentic you. And then the last part here is the law of authenticity, or excuse me, the law of Oops, good gracious! I made it so far into this before I had some little hesitations here, but we're back on track. Okay, so the law of well, hello. All right, so the law of reciprocity. All right, here we got it. The law of oh my goodness. The law of receptivity. Okay, the law of receptivity. Ah, I got it. The law of receptivity. Okay, anyways, the key to giving is to stay open to receiving. Wow, that was such a tongue twister, and I still don't think I got it. But it's better to give than receive. Isn't that what you've always heard? It's better to give than receive. Do you think that's right? No, it's insane to think you can give and not receive, right? That's not the way. That's not the natural way things go. The natural thing is if you give, you will receive something. The example used is you can't breathe in and then just breathe out forever. At some point, you need to breathe in again. And it goes kind of through this cycle of things. What are you breathing in? You're breathing in oxygen. You need oxygen to survive. You need oxygen for your blood, for your cells, for everything inside of you. And when you breathe out what? Carbon dioxide. And then where does the carbon dioxide go? It goes back into the atmosphere or into the surrounding, into the air. And then where does that carbon dioxide go from there? It goes into the trees. It goes into the plants. It's brought in. And when they take in the carbon dioxide, what do plants and trees release? They release the oxygen, which is what you need. So you can't just give. You can't just give the carbon dioxide without receiving or expecting to receive back the oxygen. So some people feel like you can give forever without ever giving back. We have to be noble. That's not it at all. Every giving can happen only because there is a receiving, right? If you never receive anything, you have nothing to give. All the giving in the world won't bring success. It won't create the results you want, it won't create the results you want. You also need to be willing to receive in equal measures to what you give. That's okay. You have permission to. Don't shut down the flow. So when you give, you must be open to receive and grow. All right. So you know what? That is the second of what we're doing here with the Positive Greatness weekly book recap. Hopefully you took something away from this. And I made it all the way to Law 5 before I just stumbled over my words there. But thank you for hanging in with me. Oh, here we go. Let me get this back up. Because since you did hang in with me, hold on just a sec. I have something for you here. Let me pull the screen back up. All right. Going all the way to the end. All right. So in the comments, this is going to be up on Facebook, may get posted elsewhere as well as YouTube. What is your favorite takeaway from the GoGiver? I'm really, truly curious. What is it that you can apply into your life? Because you can't get knowledge, you can't get advice and not utilize it. I mean, you can, but why get it in the first place? Why take the step to learn if you're not going to apply? That's how you grow, even if it is uncomfortable. Put what you learn in the comments, and I'm going to pick a comment at random. Maybe I'll put names in a hat or whatnot. But I'd love to get your feedback on the book, on the review. I'm going to definitely continue to improve. But I'll send a copy of the GoGiver to somebody out there. I think this is such a great, powerful book, and I would love for this to be a contribution. I'd love for this to be a contribution in your life, because it's all about giving, right? Okay, so appreciate you all so much. I always like to say this. Definitely love you. And on 3, I'm going to take it out with a big be bold. So if you can, say it with me on 1, 2, 3. Be bold. Bye.